Fanatics isn't just our name, it's who we are. Loyal, passionate fans dedicated to our favorite teams and to the sports we love. That's why we're honored to be able to offer fans the world's largest collection of official sports apparel and sports jerseys from all the leagues, teams, and players you love. We feature a wide selection of gear from every league, including NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL, and NCAA merchandise, which allows us to serve fans of football, baseball, hockey, basketball, lacrosse, soccer, golf, and everything else that gets your heart pumping. Go to fanatics.com by using the QR code on your screen right now to celebrate your teams. All right, good morning. It's Sunday. Welcome to the Sunday Sports Show on the Inside Edge Network. I'm your host. I'm Chad Bryan. With me, as always, my guys, man, Ryan Moster and TK Dandridge. Ryan, TK, what's going on, man? We made it to Sunday. How you doing?
Doing good, man. Excited to talk some sports today, brother.
Yeah. That's we got a little bit of Final Four stuff we got to get to, man. Like literal Final Four. It's not just March Madness anymore. It's Final Four. We're there. We've got 6 teams left. So it just happened so fast, man. I said that yesterday to TK. I'm like, I'm always like, I love watching it, but it's disappointing how fast it goes. I feel like it should be longer. Maybe next year we'll do maybe they'll do 128 teams. Just let everybody in. Why not? Let every single college in. No, don't do that. That might be a little much. But yeah, we got a pretty good show. We're gonna talk some March Madness. We'll talk about 2 of the games yesterday. We got 2 more games today, and then we'll have the Final Four all set. We'll know a little bit more about how exactly trashed my bracket is. Although I still have Arizona. I'm hanging on because I have Arizona. But a few other people have Arizona. They're ahead of me. So I realized that's not good. So whatever. Can't win the bracket challenge, at least our little group. Well, I can't win any bracket challenge unless I literally take my bracket out and just make my own group. And then I can win my own bracket challenge. But it also finished last. So whatever. Yeah, I don't know. Not good. That's not good. But we are going to talk about a little bit of stuff. We got Myles Garrett stuff to talk about later. We got to talk about the Guardians because, man, Chase DeLauder is just on its air right now. Not a whole lot going on with the rest of the offense right now, but they're going to pick it up. TK, I told you yesterday, and Ryan, you probably know, man, the Guardians always heat up when the weather starts to warm up in Cleveland. So it's like once it finally gets warm, like the end of July, I think, when it finally gets warm here. No. In June, it'll warm a little bit, but yeah, they'll start hitting. It'll just snow until then. That's fine. A couple of weird things to talk about at the top. Did you guys see? Before we get into any sports stuff, did you see? I guess out of Switzerland, a Kit Kat truck was stolen, full of Kit Kats. I mean, whatever. They said there could be a shortage now for Easter. I mean, people who like their Kit Kats may not get their Kit Kat bars for Easter. I don't know if you guys saw this or not. They have no idea the location of the truck. They don't know where the Kit Kat bars went, but they do have. Well, there's a sketch of the possible suspect. So if you see this man, please call your local authorities. It's Chocolate Boy.
Chocolate Boy.
Yeah, it's got to be him, right? That's who it is.
Funny.
I don't know. Anyway,
stoop kid's afraid to leave a stoop.
Well, I mean, it's not his fault. He's addicted to chocolate. I hope that they catch him. As you said, Ryan, before the show, I hope they give him a break.
Give him a break.
Give him a break. Break him off a piece of that. Can we say
Football cream.
Sportsmemorabilia.com. That doesn't fit. Okay. But that's our sponsor. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. But baseball stuff. The Braves won last night. Did you guys see the Braves won on a walk-off grand slam by Dominic Smith? He was making his Braves debut. That's a heck of a way to kind of ingratiate yourself with the fans, right? Go out there and hit a walk-off grand slam. So that was fun.
Wasn't there a Guardians player that did that? Didn't Bradley Zimmerman hit a grand slam on his debut?
I don't know.
Am I crazy?
Sure, we'd have to look that up and see. We'll look.
All right, maybe I'm crazy.
No, well, we might be crazy, but you might be right also. 2 things can be true. That's the fun thing.
Nonetheless, that's really cool. So
yeah, it was fun. It was fun to see. And the Braves lost their ABS. A lot of stuff going on yesterday with the ABS challenge system. I don't know if it's just picking up more, players are getting used to it or whatever. We're just starting to hear about it more. I mean, it's literally the first weekend of baseball. So the Braves had lost both of their ABS challenges by the time they were 2 pitches into the bottom of the first inning, which it was hilarious to me. I mean, I get it. The pitches were close. I told you right before the show in TK, Reynaldo Lopez threw a pitch just below the strike zone. The Braves challenged it. And I mean, it was just below the strike zone. Like an amazing call by the home plate umpire. It missed maybe by millimeters, man, if that. And then Acuna had a pitch his second pitch in, and he appealed it right away, and it was a strike. So lost both their challenges immediately. Umpire CB Buckner wishes that had happened. He had a rough day yesterday, you guys. He had 6 calls overturned in the Red Sox game through the APS challenge system. It's just gotta be frustrating. Like, not only like, so in the last few years, you've seen like, they've started putting out like the umpire grades or whatever. They put their percentages of missed calls, correct calls, blown calls, whatever. They put them out there, and then you already see that stuff out there. And now, like, you're getting your calls overturned in game, like live in action. Like, hey, by the way, your call stunk. It was wrong. We're gonna fix it. That's got to feel rough. You got to go to the union afterwards and explain that. Somewhere, I'm sure retired umpire Angel Hernandez was quoted as saying, "No, I didn't see it."
That's right.
I didn't see it. So that's fine. But yeah, rough day for CB Buckner. Oh well, what are you gonna do? March Madness, guys. Nothing that mad happened yesterday. I mean, Purdue was kind of giving Arizona. Actually, somebody texted me and they said, "Hey, Purdue's giving Arizona the business right now." I was like, "Really?" And I turned it on, and by the time I got to turn it on, Arizona had already come back. They were down like 8 or whatever. They had already come back and taken the lead. But yeah, let's just I guess we'll just throw it up. Let's just talk about Arizona and Purdue. There it is. Arizona wins by 15, 79-64. Again, TK, we talked about it yesterday. Purdue hadn't been great, right? As far as Big Ten teams, they were 14th in the Big Ten in paint points. Just really not very good, unfortunately, against teams that like the inside game. And Arizona really, really kind of likes the inside. I mean, Purdue, listen, credit to Matt Painter. He tried to even put in 7'4" Daniel Jacobson, right? Doesn't play a whole lot, but just needed some size against Arizona, and they still really couldn't slow him down. I don't know. Not super surprised that Arizona won. I mean, again, I have them winning my bracket. They broke their program record for wins in a single season. They're now at 36, and that had stood since the Lute Olson days back in 1988. First Final Four trip since 2001, I think. Ryan, did you get to watch any of this game, or did you see any of the highlights? This was a fun one. I mean, Arizona wins by 15, but still, pretty good game for a while.
Yeah, I watched bits and pieces. I'm not gonna lie and say I sat and watched the whole game. I don't think I have the ability to, with 2 toddlers and a newborn, to sit down and do anything. But Arizona looked like a team that had no interest in letting this become a possession by possession Purdue game. They pushed pace, they attacked mismatches, and forced Purdue to defend in space, something that I think the Boilermakers never looked comfortable doing throughout the season. Purdue tried to slow things down and, lean on their structure, but I think Arizona's athleticism and tempo kept, ripping that game open. Every time Purdue threatened to, settle in, Arizona hit them with a run that flipped the momentum right back, in their favor. So, I mean, the Wildcats, they controlled the glass, they controlled the paint, and controlled the energy in the building. I thought it was a statement win, the kind where a 1 seed shows exactly why they're a 1 seed. So,
yeah. I mean, I can't find any fault there. I don't know if you saw TK. If you saw after the game, Matt Painter's been taking like some unsolicited shots at people during this tournament. I don't know. He kind of said, well, at least our guys will get to walk out of here with their degrees. And I just thought that was like maybe a shot at Arizona using so many freshmen in the lineup. But I mean, is that really was it worth? I don't know. I just thought that was a weird comment.
Enjoy watching the next game on the couch, buddy. Sorry.
Yeah, right. I mean, okay. I mean, I don't know that it matters, but I don't know. TK, you feel like that was more? I mean, is Matt Painter? Is he grumpy? What's going on?
I mean, obviously, anytime you have an elite season in the realm that they had for their organization, you're a bit hurt after a game like that, especially, because I'm sure they thought they had it within reach, especially after the first half. They thought, maybe we could possibly make a run in the second half to possibly get this win, but, it didn't happen that way. And, while what he's saying is correct, it's not really the point. So, I didn't really get the whole gist of that thing.
Yeah.
But hey, listen, education is the most important thing in this whole, fiasco or whatever. But maybe not the right time to say that.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I agree.
education's great. I mean, I'm glad that his guys are walking out of there with degrees. That's great, but I don't think one thing compares to the other. I mean, we're talking about a basketball game versus academics. I mean, unless he's trying to make the subtle point that Arizona doesn't have any, admission standards. I don't know. I mean, I don't really know what the point was of that, but I mean, I don't know. Raul says, Miami of Ohio would have put up at least 65, so they would put up at least one more point of a fight, right? Just a little closer. Their guys are walking out there with their degrees. We know that. But yeah, I don't know. I just thought that was a weird comment after the game. But whatever. Arizona wins. They move on. First Final Four since 2001. So my Aunt Phyllis will be very happy in Tucson. She's a big Arizona fan. But yeah, it's probably, it's March 29th. So it's probably, I would say at least 200 degrees out there by now. It's about 8:30 in the morning. So yeah, it's probably, but it's a dry heat. So it's fine. If you melt from the sidewalk up, you have to remember that it's a dry heat. So it's not that bad out in Tucson. So what else? Let's go to the South region. Let's talk about Illinois and Iowa. Illinois beats Iowa 71-59. Again, double-digit win, here's Illinois in the when's the last time they've been in the Final Four? It was a while, right? 21 years, something like that. Is it Arizona's 21 years too? Is that right?
I thought Arizona like 25, yeah.
Yeah, 25 years for Arizona, 21 for Illinois. It's weird because I feel like I remember Illinois going to a final, but I guess I don't. I thought they had a decent year like 10 years ago, but I guess not. Maybe they didn't make it. Maybe they just didn't get out of the Elite Eight or something. But I remember Illinois having a really elite basketball team a few years ago. But I'm getting old. The memory slips. But yeah, Illinois wins 71-59. I don't know. Keaton Wagler, 25 points. It was a little bit too much for Iowa. Iowa just never really, I don't know. When you score 59 points, you got to have some pretty elite defense, and they weren't able to stop Illinois at points. I don't know. TK, tell me about Illinois, Iowa. You get to see any of this one?
Saw a little bit of it. I didn't see all of it, but I did get to see bits and pieces of this game. Again, we talked about Illinois bringing the lumber defensively, and that is exactly what they did this last game against Iowa. Obviously, you get the 24 points from Bennett Sturts, and you got 10 from Tate Stage. But other than that, Iowa really couldn't do much of anything. Multiple players in single digits. They did not shoot the best overall. They shot 38% from the floor. They were 37% from three-point range, but, they really couldn't solidify their identity. Offensively, for majority of this game, Illinois shot very well, shot the ball 47%. Did not hit the three well, but as you can see, they really didn't need it that much. You got a good performance out of Keaton Wagler. He had 25. Dre Stojakovic coming off the bench with 17 points in 26 minutes. Tomas Slavic also had 13 points and 4 rebounds in 27 minutes. So Illinois did what I had expected them to do from the jump, and that was to be suffocating defensively. Granted, they went into the half with a 4-point deficit. They were able to keep the game at bay for a majority of the time, and then in the second half, they were able to just take over and just further lock down Iowa even more. I thought they did an excellent job defending the paint, even though they kind of got toasted on the outside a little bit. They surrender 11 threes. You can live and die with that, especially with a 12-point win. Yeah. So, that was a pretty solid game. Didn't get to watch all of it like I wanted to, but watched enough to, get the gist of what was going on. And I like what I see out of the Fighting Illini.
Yeah. Big Ten basketball is squarely on the map still after what seemed like a little bit of a down year in the regular season. Here they are. They're got some Big Ten teams still representing. So that leaves us with a little bit of an incomplete Final Four. We've got Arizona, over there. We've got Illinois. Illinois and Arizona now will wait on the winners of Duke and UConn, and obviously Michigan at Tennessee. Michigan-Tennessee is the first game of the day. After which we'll have not 6, but we'll have a Fab 5 teams remaining. Speaking of Fab 5, Raul says Michigan will lose because Chris Webber, through the echoes of time, will still be calling that timeout. I still remember that. That was even though we're Ohio State fans, that was a pretty fun team to watch. So the Fab 5 team was fun, right up until the bitter end when unfortunately they thought they had one more timeout than they did. But yeah, so I don't know. I guess we'll get to that first game first. Let's talk about Michigan, Tennessee. I don't know, Ryan, do you have any kind of, I feel like Michigan is going to roll on this one, but then I don't know, Tennessee's been playing really well. They stopped the absolute basketball juggernaut, the Miami of Ohio Redhawks, in the first round. Whatever. That was a fun season, great season for Miami, Ohio. Just unfortunately didn't end well. But yeah, Michigan, Tennessee, to go to the Final Four. Any thoughts on this one at all?
Yeah, I think this is a clash of identities. Michigan wants to dominate the paint, control the glass, turn every possession into a physical battle. I think their size has been a problem for everyone they faced. And when they're playing downhill, they look like probably the most complete team left in the field. Tennessee brings the opposite challenge. They have speed, they bring pressure, athleticism. They want to force turnovers, push tempo. Make Michigan defend in space instead of settling into their half-court shell. I think the matchup is simple. Can Tennessee's guards handle Michigan's length at the rim? And can Michigan keep Tennessee from turning this into a transition game? If Michigan controls the boards and keeps this in the half court, I think they definitely have the advantage. If Tennessee speeds up, and forces Michigan to make mistakes, and then the Volunteers can absolutely flip this. I think that. I don't know. Michigan's size and rim protection feel like the deciding factor here, to be honest. Tennessee will obviously, I think, the land punches, but Michigan's ability to dictate, the physicality of the game gives them the edge. I'm going to lean Michigan in a competitive, high-energy battle, though. So,
okay, I think I'm with you. TK, any thoughts on Michigan, Tennessee? As we go into that, I think that's what time is that tip today, by the way? That's a 2:15 tip today?
Yeah, 2:15.
Not too many thoughts about this Michigan-Tennessee game, other than the fact that this is going to be yet another very close-knit matchup, but one that I expect Michigan to win. I definitely like what Tennessee has shown so far in this tournament. Being able to get to the Elite Eight, what they've been able to do so far. But I really just think that Michigan is overall just a little bit better than them. They got it in the front court. Definitely think they have it's probably even when you look at their backcourt. But at the same time, I just do think that Michigan has just a little bit more talent than that of the Volunteers. Again, don't look for a high-scoring game. I definitely think these are both teams that are going to have to lock in defensively to see who moves on for the next matchup.
Yeah, I don't know how much you guys look at the KenPom ratings or whatever, which is basically just like efficiency per 100 possessions or whatever for college basketball. It's kind of developed by Ken Pomeroy. But right now, interestingly, the top four, the four most efficient teams as far as net rating goes, the KenPom rankings are 1, Arizona, 2, Michigan, 3, Duke, and 4, Illinois. So it would be ironic if we ended up with those teams as our Final Four, because obviously in that other matchup, you've got Duke, UConn, and that's going to be a little bit later of a tip. It's obviously not going to go at the same time because they want money, they want ratings, but that's 5:05.
Yep.
Both those games will be on CBS, by the way, if you want to watch those today. I already told you guys before the show, my kids will likely commandeer the TV from me. I don't know how much I'll be able to watch, but I'll try to watch them on my phone and catch the gist of what's going on. But yeah, Duke, UConn, man, a couple of blue bloods, just extreme success, man. It blows my mind how successful these programs have been. And I was watching some totally beside the point, but I was watching just something on the UConn women's program and Gino Oriyama and just like the success and the relationships that he has with his player. It's amazing. I mean, what a crazy situation. I mean, UConn really going to miss Gino Oriyama when he retired, when he's gone, whatever. Not the point. Duke, UConn, whatever. 1 seed versus the 2 seed. TK, I'll start with you. Duke, UConn. Tell me who wins this game. Why? How?
As much as I hate to do this, I'm going to go with Duke. Due to the sheer talent that they have, I understand that hard work beats talent, especially when that talent fails to work hard. But this talent in the form of the University of Duke basketball team has been working extremely hard to make themselves felt in this tournament. Yes, I understand the slow start against Siena. Yes, I do understand the slow start in their last matchup. But at the same time, I just think when you look at a team that is littered with goods, as much as the University of Duke is, it's kind of hard to overlook that. And while I do think UConn is also a very talented and hardworking bunch, I just think that of Duke University could be that much stronger than the University of Connecticut. Not necessarily that much stronger, but I do think they have enough to be able to withstand a 40-minute battle with the Huskies, and I do think this is one that they will take. Not necessarily going to be a blowout of any sorts. Might not even be a nail biter, but I wouldn't rule out that possibility.
Yeah, I think TK. There's probably 2 schools of thought on Duke getting off to slow starts. Yeah, I get it. One was against Siena. As a 16 seed, it's not great, not a good look. But they did come back and win that game handily. And I guess, listen, if things go, sometimes things can get a little wonky, right? Or off the start. If UConn jumps up, 12-2, 15-4, whatever, we know Duke's not going to panic because they've been in that situation before. They've gotten down and had to come back. They've had the slow starts. I know that UConn is obviously a better opponent than Siena or anybody else really that Duke has played along the way. But I mean, like I said, they're gonna have that experience. Ryan, do you think it's is it players? Is it John Shire? Is it coaching? Like, what is it that allows Duke to just? It's sort of like a heavyweight, just sort of feeling out. Whatever you try to just whatever you got. Maybe your opponent lands a couple of punches early, but it's like you're like, okay, I mean this is the extent of what they can do. We've taken all the punches. Now we're going to go on the attack. It just sort of feels like that. Is that a player thing? Is that a coaching thing? Like what allows Duke to do that?
I think it's both player coaching, the pedigree of Duke in general. I mean, just that, I think it's a quote from the movie Catch Me If You Can. Like, the Yankees aren't good because they're good. They're good because of the pinstripes. Like, you wear that uniform, all of a sudden you become, So I think that's part of it too, in a way. But they're just scrappy. They're good at defense. Like you said, they're a blue blood. I don't know. I really like this matchup. I think it's probably the matchup that everyone circled the moment the bracket dropped. Like you said, they're both blue bloods. They're both 2 elite defenses, 2 teams that don't panic. Duke wants to play with the pace and physicality, using their size to create mismatches, and letting their guards dictate tempo. When they're flowing, they look like a team that can overwhelm you with waves of athleticism. UConn, on the other hand, it's all about control. They're methodical. I cannot talk today. Oh my gosh. They're connected. They're one of the best teams in the country. Methodical. There you go. One of the best teams in the country at, taking away your first option and force you into like uncomfortable counters. It's up to, can Duke speed up UConn without losing their own shot selection? And can UConn's guards keep Duke out of transition and force them into, that chess match in the half court? If this game becomes a grind, I personally think that UConn has the advantage. If it becomes a track meet, obviously, then Duke has the firepower to tilt it. But I think that UConn's experience and defensive discipline will give them the slight edge in this game. Duke will make runs, but I think just UConn's ability to control pace with late clock possessions feels like the difference. I'm going to lean UConn in this one in the upset. So.
Okay, fair enough. Listen, speaking of uncomfortable, after I said methodical, my Wi-Fi froze. So I was like, oh, he didn't like my suggestion. He really does not like the word methodical. I thought something happened.
If I could say things sometimes, geez.
Words are tough, man, especially when a lot come out of your mouth at the same time. I find that they get harder and harder to say. So you're not alone there. It's tough. I'm not sure exactly. UConn has a crazy winning streak in tournament play after the Sweet 16. It is what is it? I I don't know the exact number on that, but it's crazy how many, like when they get to the Sweet 16, they don't lose. It's unbelievable. If you look back over their history, it's pretty wild. But yeah, Illinois, Arizona already have punched their tickets. Now we're waiting on, the winner of Duke, UConn, and Michigan, Tennessee. That's why. Listen, hey, here we go. Look, hey, Papa Moose says, hey, to help my bracket, come on, UConn. Let's go, UConn. Let's go, Huskies. Let's go. And I will respectfully tell you that no, you do not need help because you're way ahead of me, Papa Moon, in the bracket challenge. So no, we don't need help for your bracket. We need help for my bracket. We need Arizona to beat everybody. Let's go. And like I said, I still think I can't win, even if Arizona does do that. So you will have that. All right, well, listen, let's take a break. I think we talked. That's all the March Madness we can really get into, right? We covered everything. Games will tip at 2:15, I think, and 5:05 today. I don't know if I have those exact times right, but 2:15 and 5:05. Yeah, it's on CBS.
Yeah, those are right.
Yeah, so you can check those out today. If your kids do not commandeer the television from you, like mine will from me. Yeah, you can watch those, and we'll know. We'll have the Final Four all set. We can pontificate all week on what's going to happen in the last 3 games of the college basketball season. I can't believe it's here already. I mean, it's baseball season. We're moving. It's spring, right? Like, let's go. But yeah, well, before we take a break, let's talk about our very first sponsor of the entire network, Allie Rose Fragrances. She was the first one to sponsor the Inside Edge Network. So for you, we can say we could pass the savings on. You can just go to allierosefragrances.com. Use our code right there, Inside Edge 20, capital I, capital E, Inside Edge 20. You can save yourself 20% off your first order. Candles, body mist, vegan, cruelty-free, all natural ingredients, everything homemade right here in our country, right here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Again, small business. The candles smell amazing. I can attest to this. My wife has been burning a couple of them in her office for the last, 3 weeks now. First of all, they don't go away. They take forever to burn. They smell amazing. The house smells so clean. My kids keep coming home from school and going, what does that smell? I'm like, that's our candle. It's the Allie Rose Fragrance candle. It smells really good. They've tried to steal my spiced apple. I have to hide my spiced apple in my studio. I say that all the time and everyone laughs, and I wish that was a joke. They really tried to steal my candle because it smells amazing. It smells clean. You can smell the difference in the ingredients. So please visit allierosefragrances.com and save yourself 20% off your order by using that code Inside Edge 20. We will take a break for about 5 minutes. When we come back, we're going to talk. What do you want to talk? Do you want to talk Guardians first? Let's talk Guardians. Let's talk baseball. We'll get to the Myles Garrett stuff eventually, Ryan. I definitely want to hear your opinion on this because everything that the Browns are doing, every way that they're maneuvering right now is saying that they're headed toward one outcome, and they're telling everybody they're headed toward another outcome. I don't know what to believe. So I want to get your opinion. We'll talk about it. It's not necessarily great news, but whatever. We have to talk about it. So give us, like I said, about 5 minutes on the Inside Edge Network. We'll be right back, and we'll talk some baseball. How about that? Whether you're searching for a baseball autographed by your favorite World Series slugger, a signed football by an iconic Hall of Famer, or the jersey of a world-famous soccer star, you've come to the right place. Here at sportsmemorabilia.com, the web's leading source of authentic sports memorabilia, you'll find more than 500,000 authentic products from nearly every professional sports league, team, and player. Not only will you find your next prized sports possession with ease thanks to superb customer service and tremendous site experience, but you'll have the satisfaction and peace of mind that every product listed comes complete with a certificate of authenticity and is fully backed by the sportsmemorabilia.com lifetime authenticity guarantee. You have to unmute yourself to be able to have people hear you. That's a thing that's very important. Welcome back to the Sunday Sports Show. You can hear me now. If you read lips, I said all right. That's all I got out. So no worries. I caught myself after one word. That's not bad. TK's shaking his head over there. Maybe it's bad. Hey, listen, we got to talk some Guardians, you guys. Guardians are off to a pretty good start. They won last night, 6-5. But Chase DeLauder, we got to talk about Chase DeLauder. Everyone's like, can't stay healthy, can't stay on the field. Won't be a factor. Blah 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 blah. Listen, Chase DeLauder's healthy. He's on the field. He's a factor. 4 home runs in 3 games. Not 3 home runs, 4 home runs in 3 games. Just ridiculous. I think he is first of all, he was the 6th player of the modern era to make his major league debut in the playoffs. That was already something, right? Now he's just the 2nd player ever to hit 4 home runs in his first 3 career regular season games. Trevor Story did that back in 2016 with the Rockies. But yeah, I don't know. Chase DeLauder, you guys, is he going to hit? He's going to hit like 200 home runs, right? Probably. No?
Yeah,
probably not. Yeah, just amazing. How important is that? Listen, so this is a Guardians team, by the way, that finished 29th last year in baseball with a team OPS of 669 for the season. If you can imagine this, only the Pirates were worse at 655, and the Pirates don't even try to win. So they had to do something, right? Is DeLauder is he the medicine that they needed? Can he be the guy, Ryan?
I think so, maybe. I mean, 3 games in, yes, but this is a very short sample size. I mean, I don't know. Every once in a while, a young player shows up and you can just feel it, and not hype, not projections, not wishful thinking, which a lot of Browns fans have throughout many sports, but presence, the kind of presence that makes you sit up a little straighter and say, hold on, this guy might be something. And I think right now, Chase DeLauder is giving that energy off, man. Like you said, 4 home runs in his first 3 major league games, 4. I mean, like you said, only the 2nd player ever to do that in history of the sport. But the part that blows me away is the story. Trevor Story did it at Coors Field. Yeah. DeLauder did it in Seattle, one of the toughest parks in baseball for a left-handed power hitter. These aren't cheap shots. They're not, wind aided, home runs. These are, I'm not going to sit around and wait to be great. I'm going to swing and hit some home runs. The ball just jumps off the bat at every part of the field, pull side, opposite field. It doesn't matter. The contact has been loud, and, the moment isn't too big for the guy, which is actually really, really important, especially for his rookie season. Opening night, national spotlight, little later than we want, but nonetheless, elite pitching and, a stadium that eats left-handers alive, and he walked in there like he belonged, and if you're trying to, I don't know. I'm not trying to jump the gun here. I'm not, it's been 3 games. I'm a realistic person. Baseball has a way of humbling you the second that you start planning the parade route, but man, how incredible would it be if the Cleveland Guardians finally, had a power hitting outfielder help Jose Ramirez, how incredible would it be if this is the kid who changes the entire shape of the lineup just because all he had to do was stay healthy. Because you're looking at, the first young bat to break out finally. You already have your answer. I think he's wearing number 6. I'm trying not to jump the gun, like I said, but man, this isn't a hot streak, I don't think. This isn't adrenaline. I think this is a foundation. This is the blueprint, for a middle of the order hitter who can change the trajectory of a franchise. And if, this is what it looks like in March, imagine what he's going to look like in July, So I'm excited.
I am too. I'm a Braves fan, and I'm excited for the Guardians and for Chase DeLauder and for Guardians fans. Listen, I'll be honest with you. I mean, in every preview show that I've done, I've picked the Guardians to go 84-78, not win the Central and not go to the playoffs because there's just too many teams. I think in the AL they're going to win more than 84. You're going to have a few 90 game winners. But I mean, that being said, if Chase DeLauder continues this, okay, and you can get Rhys Hoskins going a little bit and he can hit, 25, 30 home runs.
Yep.
Then all of a sudden you get, what Kyle Manzardo hits his 25, 30 home runs from last year. Travis Bazzana, no one's even mentioned the number 1 overall pick. If he comes up and makes an impact right away, all of a sudden, TK, this is a very different baseball team than 84-78, right?
Oh, most definitely. If we get all the production that we were supposed to get from these guys, especially our number 1 overall pick, this is going to look like the 1998 American League All-Star team. And as far as jumping the gun with the success of Chase DeLauder in these first 3 games, I understand that Ryan has taken a more conservative and smart approach. Meanwhile, I will jump the gun. In fact, you can call me Plexical Burris because I will shoot myself in the damn leg along with jumping that gun. As far as the success with Chase DeLauder, listen,
I love it.
We didn't think this kid was going to play at all to start the season. We thought that wrist injury was a lot more dangerous to what it would become than what it actually was. And expecting big money out of a power hitter with a wrist injury. Okay, that's your money right there. That's the flick of the wrist. That's the swing that you need to follow through and all that good stuff to be able to make things like this happen. So for him to go in Seattle all la da and just crack off 4 dingers like it wasn't anything at all. Hey, listen, I will definitely jump the gun. Plexical Burris ain't got a damn thing on me. This young man is going to be an absolute box office prospect for us. And hopefully we can keep him around for a long time. Hopefully he continues to get better. Maybe he stays healthy. As far as the whole 200 home run thing, obviously that's not going to happen.
Really?
Put my record at 85.
Fine.
We'll start there.
Fine. He's not going to hit 200 home runs.
Yeah.
I love that you brought up Plexico Burris, a notorious leg man who was not afraid to shoot his shot. Yeah, that was great. But yeah, Chase DeLauder, it's fun. He's probably not 200 home runs. Realistically, this season, probably 175. Okay. No, but really, if he hits 25 to 30, I mean, he's on a crazy pace right now, but he's most likely not going to. If he hits 25, 30, that's a huge bonus. If he can stay healthy, play 140, 145 games, and hit 25, 30 home runs, you will absolutely take that as a Guardians fan. You hope to see words hard. I don't always come out right. You hope to see Travis Bazzana up here soon. I mean, you would think that. I don't know if they're just maybe working on some things defensively for him because you've got guys change. Stephen Kwan's going to play some center field, which, we can talk about it on another episode. I don't think necessarily great news for the Guardians. It definitely means that they're showcasing his versatility, his marketability, if things go badly. But, I mean, all of a sudden now with Chase DeLauder off to his start, maybe things don't go badly. I mean, realistically, DeLauder's probably going to end up hitting 235, 240. With 25 to 30 home runs, realistically, right? Like you said, Ryan, baseball is a very humbling sport. Eventually, people are going to find a little bit. Everybody's got a hole in their swing. There's no hitter that's ever in the history of the game, maybe save for a few guys, really been able to cover both sides of the plate, up, down, change the speeds effectively with no matter what you do. There just aren't many of those guys. So someone's going to find a hole in DeLauder's swing. He's going to have a stretch. I mean, and you got to be patient with him. He's going to have a stretch where he goes, 1 for 24 with, 12 or 15 strikes. It's going to happen. He's a young kid. But he clearly has the ability to show that I think he can even that out the other way with a hot stretch or two here or there. And it's not just the regular season. I mean, he also hit 2 home runs in a spring training game at Arizona. One was an absolute missile to center field. At Arizona. So, I mean, he's got I don't know, what does he have? He has 6 home runs in his last, 4 or 5 games. It's wild. So he's on a tear. He's obviously seeing the ball well, and barreling it up. And that's half the battle in the major leagues. You hit the ball hard, good things are going to happen. So yeah, Joey Cantel didn't get out of the fourth inning last night. That was, I guess a little troubling to see. First start of the year. So it's hard to try to glean anything from that. I mean, they're just coming out of spring training. Guys' arms aren't even really ramped up yet. Better than Paul Skeens' first start of the year. So what are you gonna do, right? It happens. You get hit sometimes. It's the walks, I think, for the Guardians pitching staff. We talked to Gavin Williams, 6 walks the other night in his start. You've got to throw strikes. You got to keep guys off the bases. You can't, in the major leagues especially, you cannot give free bases. Teams are too good. Hitters are too good. Can't do that. Anything else that you guys noticed in the first 3 or so games from the Guardians? Jose Ramirez is off to a little bit of a slow start. I'm not worried about him. He'll get it going. Stephen Kwan, not exactly making a bunch of noise, but I mean they've taken 2 or 3 from the Mariners. They look pretty good. Chase DeLauder's on a tear. You would have to think sometimes hitting can be contagious. Is there any point during the season, Ryan, where you can see Chase DeLauder moving? I don't think Jose Ramirez ever moves out of that 3 hole for DeLauder.
Put him in 2. If he's hitting like this, put him in 2.
That's where they had him last night. Yeah. It was perfect. Yeah, I think that's perfect.
Keep him there.
Especially with, like you said, with his ability to hit to all fields. Perfect 2-hitter right there. Perfect 2-hitter.
Yeah, that's ideal. If he continues to show that he is this type of hitter in the MLB, he's going to move right up in the lineup. So
yeah, I don't see any reason to even if he hits a ton of home runs, I don't think you have to move him back to clean up or in the 5 hole. I love him in the 2 hole. I think he's great. So okay, well let's keep an eye on it. I mean, we'll see how it goes. Like you said, he's going to have a stretch where he gets humbled a little bit. It's going to happen. You got to be patient. Guardians fans, I think, are fairly patient, to be honest with you. I think it helps when you have the 3rd best winning percentage over the last 10 years in baseball, regardless of the payroll. But then that can be a little frustrating too, because what if there were an extra 40 million, 50 million there to play with every year? Would that make a difference? I mean, would they be better than the Yankees and the Dodgers, who they're currently behind for winning percentage over the last last 10 years? 3rd is crazy work, really, for the Guardians, considering what they've had to work with, financially. But that just goes to show you how good Tito Francona and Stephen Vogt have been as far as just keeping this team together, keeping them on the right path. The development is amazing. The Guardians, I've said it, I'll say it until the end of time, until they stop doing it. They develop pitchers maybe better than any team in the league. Especially those fastball slider guys. That's why I'm really excited about. They've got arms in the minors. Cal Steven, who they got in the Shane Bieber. I almost said Justin Bieber, who they got in the Shane Bieber trade. I'm really excited about his ability. I mean, he does not walk guys. He throws strikes. He's a fastball slider guy. I mean, the Guardians are going to fine tune him and possibly turn him into a monster. I mean, he's just looming down there in Double-A. So, the Guardians have some things going on. I'm a little concerned about the starting pitching depth, especially with Logan Allen. Whatever happened to him in that last spring training start? My goodness. I don't know. A lot of hits, a lot of runs. It's concerning. But yeah, that's the only area really right now where I'm really, really concerned about the Guardians is the starting pitching depth. The bullpen looks pretty good. Chase DeLauder is helping kind of anchor the offense until, Kwan and Ramirez and a couple other guys get going. So right now they're sitting pretty good. They've got another game. Do they play this afternoon? What time do they play today? What time that first pitch is? I actually don't have that right in front of me, but they'll end that series with the Mariners today, and I know one of my guys will come up with the first pitch time here soon.
7:20. You're frozen. 7:20. You're frozen.
National.
Yeah.
I'm okay. Well, let me know when I come back. Am I back?
You're back. Hello.
What's happening? I'm back. All right. That's great. I froze. Sometimes I freeze. Sometimes I don't know what to say or do. So I just freeze. But listen, let's take a break. We're going to take a quick break to allow me to unfreeze. And when we come back, we got to talk about the Browns and Myles Garrett and how they won't stay out of the news cycle. You guys, it's a little frustrating. We're going to hear from one of our sponsors, Dubby. We'll take a quick break. When we get back on the other side of that break, we'll hear from Mosser Moments. And then we'll hear from Ryan Mosser, and we'll just want to get your opinion on the whole Myles Garrett thing, what the Browns are doing. So give us about 5 or so minutes. We'll be right back on the Inside Edge Network. Clean energy, bold flavors, no jitters. See why people won't shut up about Dubby. Clean energy, no jitters or crash. Helps you lock in and focus. Over 15 absolute fire flavors to choose from. Visit Dubby.gg and use promo code InsideEdge10. Mosser Moments Photography is a husband and wife wedding photography team based in Cleveland, owned and operated by Ryan and Hallie Mosser. For the past 10 years, they've captured more than 100 weddings across Northeast Ohio and beyond, always working together as a true two-person team. Their style centers on authentic, emotional storytelling, documenting the real moments between two people in love and creating images that feel natural, comfortable, and true to the couple. Rooted in Northern Ohio, but inspired by their travels, Ryan and Hallie bring a warm, personal approach to every wedding day. Their work blends experience, consistency, and a genuine passion for helping couples relive their best day through timeless photography. Learn more at MosserMomentsPhotography.com. Well, there you go. Learn more at MosserMomentsPhotography.com. We got our guy Ryan right here.
Do it.
I've seen the evidence. You guys do a great job. It's amazing.
Thank you.
The pictures are absolutely amazing. I would venture to guess that you could probably even make me look decent.
I promise you we can. So one of my wife's gifts for sure. Yeah, we actually just had our first 2 engagement sessions of the season. Season's opening up at the we at the Art Museum in Cleveland yesterday. It was a lot of fun. So about to get real busy again, bro.
Listen, that would have been crazy. We almost took our kids to the Art Museum in Cleveland. We were going to go yesterday. We just ran out of time. How cool would it have been if we wouldn't have seen you guys?
Yeah.
I would have totally interrupted the session. I would have like, "Hey, Monsters!" I would have yelled stuff. No, I would have.
I've seen his ad on that sweet podcast. Yeah,
you're doing the right thing. No, I would have done that. I'm really excited because we're going to talk Myles Garrett, and I remembered to unmute myself after the break before I started talking. That's really exciting to me. It's the little things sometimes. But Ryan, I just had one. I literally in my notes, I typed one question. And it has a lot of question marks, but it says, what in the world are the Browns doing? Okay, so every national media person, we talked about it, yesterday I talked about it with TK yesterday. Everybody says the Browns are telling them, hey, this isn't happening. We're not trading Myles Garrett. We're not doing it. We're just doing some stuff. We're bored. We're tinkering with, we felt like maybe draft picks should be traded 5 years from now instead of whatever. We restructured his contract, but that's for him, a little bit for us. Dead cap hits aren't so. But why would they be concerned about the dead cap hit? Why would that matter if they're not going to trade him? They're not going to release him, certainly. So, Ryan, what are the Browns doing? What is going on? Are they going to trade Myles Garrett?
Are they going to trade Myles Garrett? Do you think Andrew Berry is the man that is going to be responsible for making the worst trade in NFL history with Deshaun Watson, and then turn around and then also trade the guaranteed first ballot Hall of Fame player the Browns have had since Joe Thomas, and probably the best player at the position in Myles Garrett? Hopefully. Ooh, yeah. I mean, let's be honest here. There's a difference between, loving a player and lying to yourself. The truth is simple to me. When a franchise keeps wasting a generational talent, eventually the conversation shifts from should they trade him to, how much longer can they justify not doing it? And some of you guys are going to hate me for this. I don't care. I mean, Myles Garrett is everything you want in a franchise cornerstone, obviously, but the Browns are everything you don't want around one. And that's, why this conversation is never going to go away until something happens or he retires. Myles Garrett's a Hall of Fame player stuck on a team that's not close. I mean, we can't keep dancing around it. Myles is one of the greatest defensive players in this era of all time, maybe, 2-time defensive player of the year, single season sack, record holder, a physical freak who's gotten double team more than anyone in NFL history, not named Aaron Donald, probably. He's the kind of player that keeps, teams spend a decade trying to find, praying that they find a guy like this. And what did the Browns do with that last season? They went 5-12. They're picking 6 overall. They look like a team trying to build a roster with duct tape and hope, man. It's kind of crazy. If you can't win with this version of Myles Garrett, the best version that he's ever been in the NFL, then when exactly are you planning to win? It isn't a Myles problem by any means, of course. It's a Browns timeline problem, in my opinion. Myles Garrett's trade value right now is an absolute peak. This is the moment. NFL stars, don't stay at their apex forever. there's a window where this value is untouchable, and Garrett is sitting right in the middle of that. He's still in his prime. He's coming off a historic season. He's healthy. He's relatively been clean off the field other than his speeding issues, which whatever, until a tragedy happens with that, it's a non-issue. He's a scheme-proof defensive player, a culture setter, a guaranteed double team every snap. If the Browns put him on the market today, they could ask for anything. I mean anything. Multiple firsts, multiple seconds, young blue chip players, franchise setting rehaul. There are maybe 3 or 4 non-quarterbacks in the entire league who command that kind of return, and he's probably at the top. If you're rebuilding, and let's be honest, the Browns are rebuilding whether they want to admit it or not. This is the kind of move that accelerates everything. In terms of the contract restructure, I don't think that was random. That was obviously strategic. The Browns didn't restructure Garrett's contract out of kindness. They didn't do it for fun. They didn't do it because they were bored on a Tuesday. They restructure like these do 2 things. They make a player easier for another team to absorb, and they make the dead cap more manageable for teams trading for him, or for teams trading him, excuse me. The national analyst immediately pointed out, this is the kind of restructure that you make when you want flexibility, including trade flexibility. It doesn't guarantee a move, obviously, but it, absolutely opens up the door wider. And for Andrew, for them to come out and say, oh, blah, it's smoke. I don't care. The petition to trade more future picks is the smoking gun. This is the part I don't think a lot of people are talking about loudly enough. The Browns petitioned the NFL to expand the number of future first round picks teams are allowed to trade, I think from 3 to 5. Teams don't do that unless they're planning something massive, obviously. There are only 2 reasons to push, for that rule change. It's you want to trade your superstar for a historic haul, or you want to trade for a quarterback using future picks. The Browns are preparing for a franchise altering move, and they're trying to do everything they can to get that haul at a maximum value. And the only player on the roster who commands that kind of return is Myles Garrett. The emotional reality is that I don't think this is betrayal. This is honesty. It's not about wanting him gone. It's not about blaming Myles Garrett. It's not about pretending that he's the problem. He is about acknowledging the truth, I think. Or this is it. I don't know. The Browns are not close. Not with him, not without him, not with this roster, not with this quarterback situation, not with this timeline. Every year you keep him here, you're burning another year of a Hall of Fame career on a team that, can't match his level. And sometimes the right move is the hardest one. Personally, if I'm Andrew Berry, I'm doing it. Not because I want to, but because it's the only responsible move left, I think. You get a historic return. You reset the roster. You build around your next quarterback. You stop wasting the best defensive player of his generation, and you give Myles Garrett a chance to, chase a ring somewhere that actually is ready to compete. And I know people don't care about that as much, but they owe him that. And he deserves that, and the Browns need the reset. Again, if the Browns couldn't win with the greatest version of Myles Garrett we've ever seen, then exactly when are they going to win with him? His value will never be higher. I would make this trade as hard as it is, because like I said, he's a Hall of Fame player. And first ballot, but I don't know.
Yeah, he is. As soon as the waiting period's over, he's in. That's it. I mean, there's no
Right.
doubt. I don't know about unanimous, because people like to do that to players now. Like, well, I'm not going to vote for him because he was going to get every other vote. But that's dangerous. But that's a weird way of thinking. That's how baseball works. The Hall of Fame voting works. It's really weird. Yeah, it needs updated. Can we look at that while we're in the lockout? Can we please, like December 1st, can we start? Anyway, we're not talking about that. We're talking about Myles Garrett. As much as the Browns want to say they're not rebuilding, like you said, 8-26 over the last 2 seasons. A brand new head coach who's never been a coach at the NFL level. I know Todd Monken's been around, but he's never been a head coach. Moving into a new building in less than 5, all of that screams otherwise. And then the petition to change, the draft pick tradability, whatever. And then the restructuring of your contract, your best players who you just signed, by the way, just signed this contract.
Follow the breadcrumbs,
Yeah, exactly. And so the reason that they're not saying this isn't because they're not lying to us because they hate us, right? They're trying to trade from a position of strength, right? The less you say we're trading Myles Garrett, the more you get back for him. The more you say we're trading Myles Garrett, the less you get, because everyone knows you feel like you have to move him. So if you tell everybody, if you tell Mike Florio and you tell, whatever, all the Rappaports of the world, all the whoever's, you tell them all, we're not trading him. We're not trading him. Does that raise the level of intrigue and mystery around it? The teams go, well, what is it going to take? I mean, if they're not, Why would they, everybody knows this, right? Like you can read between the lines. Everybody knows he's on his way out. And here's the thing. You're right, Ryan. You have to do it. I love Myles Garrett. I love watching him play every Sunday. It's literally right now one of the only reasons to watch the Browns on Sunday. Myles Garrett. But it's gotten you 8-26. I mean, for all of it, like you said, the record was fantastic. It netted 5 wins. And here is the part that hurts the most. This would feel like so much more of a net win for the Browns if they hadn't made the Deshaun Watson trade. It feels like it just evens you back out. It just kind of, I don't know, man. They're in the middle of a rebuild, whether they want to admit it or not. They have right now, they're going forward with a 5th round draft pick, most likely coming into the season as the starter. A guy who hasn't played in the NFL since, 1987, who's torn his Achilles 14 times. They've got Dylan Gabriel, who can't throw the ball 27 yards down the field. This is the quarterback room. And this feels like if I've ever seen a rebuild, this is it, right? I'm not saying that they're tanking. They're not tanking. I think, Todd Monken is a competitive guy. I think he wants to see how quickly they can turn this around. I just don't think it's going to be next year. I don't think we can afford the 3 to 5 year plan in the NFL anymore. So how do you combat that? You have to trade Myles Garrett and get a bunch of guys in here, right? Or at least have a bunch of draft capital so that you can try to turn this around in 2 to 3 years, not 3 to 5 years. A lot of people think Monken will be gone by then anyway. By the time they come in, by the time they move into the new building, but I think that's neither.
I don't think so.
No, you don't think so? If he'd be here, that's great, right? That means they're making good progress. They're doing the right thing. They're moving in the right direction. Something we haven't seen them do for at least in consecutive seasons very often. They'll have a blip here and there, right? Where they win, 10, 11 games and go win a playoff game against their rival. That was wild. And then they blew that all up and started over for no reason. And now they're going to blow it all up and start over again for a reason. And this time Myles Garrett is that collateral damage. Unfortunately, I just think as much as we don't want to see it, I mean, he has to go. It's not his fault. They're not losing because of Myles Garrett. It's not as if trading Myles Garrett magically makes this a better football team. It doesn't. But the draft capital that you can get in return for him, I agree with you. I think it makes him a better football team in the long run. And ultimately you have to have someone in there making the decisions and making those choices that isn't going to blow it. We can't miss. You cannot trade Myles Garrett away and miss on any of the draft picks that you get back for a player like Myles Garrett. You have to hit.
And that's another thing. I mean, yes, Andrew Berry has the first 4 picks of last year, but other than that, his resume sucks, especially in the draft. So do we trust him if he even makes that trade to make the right picks? I don't know. I have to see more. Nonetheless, we're in the position where he's making the picks. So we got to just pray for the best, man. So,
yeah. So, so what's your instinct? Do you think a move is made before the draft or possibly on draft night around that time? TK saying yes.
Maybe. I don't know, man. Andrew Berry is so weird. I have no idea. I mean, I think that it could happen draft night. If not, I don't think it'll happen before draft night. I don't think that. I mean, obviously he's going to want as much value as he can get, but we got like 20 days left till the draft. That's not a lot of time, but if it happens draft night, that'd be crazy. Obviously blockbuster kind of night. But I think it happens, it's going to happen shortly after the draft. So.
Okay. So you think, no, so that, I think that limits to trade partners because right now the Cowboys, I think would be a prime landing spot for Myles Garrett. They, for whatever reason, traded away their edge rusher. They need one. They have 2 first-round picks this year. I just feel like this is happening. I feel like this is going to happen. And,
I think it draft night. I mean, I think I just don't think it happens before draft night, but I think Andrew Berry likes a splash. He likes his name not his name necessarily, but just like he likes to just show that he's a very smart person. So nonetheless, I think that it could be draft night if they do it. I don't know if he's going to do it. Like I said, he's also, in my opinion, I don't want to say pretentious, but like you don't want to go down as a guy who traded for made the worst trade in NFL history, and then doubled down by trading away your best player ever. So I don't know. I mean, prideful it might be a word, but I could also see that he's just gonna sit tight with this roster and hopefully strike gold in the draft as well. So
yeah, well, if word comes down from ownership, then you're left with not many choices as far as what you do as a general manager, right? If Jimmy Haslam says, "Hey, we got to move him," you got to move him. But not that Haslam has made the best football decisions since he's been here. I mean, the Browns are in trouble. The Browns are they're at a very pivotal spot right now. And I think what they do really over the next season or two, including on the field, including the draft, including free agency, including trades, I think that sets it up for how it feels when they move into the new building. And I don't know. It's a roller coaster ride, and I feel like it's not that thrilling. It's mostly like just getting stuck on the hill going up and like waiting for the crest, and it never comes. So man, I don't know. TK, I don't imagine you feel any differently from yesterday. What you're still thinking Myles Garrett for about 11 first-round picks, right? We're up a whole side of
we'll start there. No, I'm kidding. I definitely think Dallas becomes a target, considering that their owner is also an extremely goofy, wealthy white man who has a lot of power and continues to be irresponsible, especially with the trade for Micah Parsons last year. Somehow, some way, they ended up with Rashawn Gary this year in free agency. So, kind of a weird situation there. But you think if you pair Myles Garrett with Rashawn Gary, that is going to be a knuck and futz edge rushing tandem out there in the Big D, in Arlington, Texas. But I just think Ryan hit the nail on the head. It's time to move on. We have had this man here for 10 years. We've done absolutely nothing but waste his time and watched his shoulder width get even larger by the season. That is a terrible waste to have a man that looks like Hulk, that plays like Hulk, but does not play for the Monsters. In fact, he plays for the goddamn Bad News Bears.
Hey,
so,
the Bad News
listen, and even more to the point, this makes me despise Jimmy Haslam and Andrew Berry even more. Sir, the whole black dude that graduated from Harvard grift does not hit the same if you were not curing cancer and you are giving all of us Browns fans cancer simultaneously with the egregious shit that you have been doing in the front office since you have been here. Majority of the time, I understand last year was great. Can't go 1 for 6 and expect people to be excited. I just really think that you guys really need to go ahead and get on your horse. Gut Jerry's pockets. Make sure you gut them deep. Sir, we want both first-round picks in this year. We want next year's one as well. If you don't want to give us a 1 for 2028, you need to throw in a second or a third or one of your starters.
David freaking Putnam.
Say again?
I said David freaking Putnam.
Hey, listen. You got something. But yeah, this makes complete sense to just go ahead and get rid of him. I don't think he'll do it before the draft because Andrew Berry has managed to scar himself with the Deshaun Watson trade. I'm sure he thinks about it every night. We haven't let him live it down since he made that move. So, of course, you don't want to double down. And, this could very well be the end of my executive career in the NFL if I make this trade, and especially if I get all of these picks and I do some obliviously dumb shit with it. This executive career of mine is going down the drain, and now I have to find a new grift with the black guy that graduated from Harvard just because that ain't going to work in the NFL no more. No one cares. Sashi Brown screwed up. Now you screwed up. Nobody cares. You made it suck for the rest of them. I hope that burns. I hope that burns, Andrew. You made it stink. For the next black guy that wants to be a hot shot to leave Harvard and become an NFL executive, it ain't gonna happen because of your ass. So thanks for that. Go ahead and get on the phone with Dallas. Like I said, both first-round picks this year. I want a one for next year, and if we can't get a one from 2028, I need a starter. Either a starter or a second or a third. Let's get on.
We'll take Dak.
Yeah.
Take Dak, right?
I don't know if we can afford Dak. Yeah, but I mean, they picked 12 and 20. I mean, that's pretty good return for, for 2026, and 2027 is obviously non-negotiable. It's coming. Best draft in years, so you have to have that pick as well. And David Putney, give me a fake punt returner. I don't care. Give me somebody who's good. Give me a starter. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been weirdly excited about. I cannot wait to see Ryan Moster's big board for the 2027 draft. I like every position. It's just ridiculous. It's gonna be fun.
I don't want to think about that right now. That's a lot of work.
Get ahead of ourselves. It's like, no way we do that. You got to find a way to automate the process. Then we'll get on. We'll find that
right.
out. We'll figure that out. But man, well, I mean, that's about it for us. We're gonna talk about. We just gotta talk about what's on our minds, and then we're gonna get out of here. Yeah, I mean, everything else is just remember. Quick reminder: if you see this man, if you're in the area of Switzerland or anywhere, just remember, please call your local authorities. He may have all the Kit Kat bars. That's the last bit of serious business. No, it's not serious. But we want to talk about what's on our mind. The first graphic I'm going to use today. Yay! Look at that. So who wants to start? Ryan, do you want to start?
I don't care. Whatever.
Okay. Well, we'll start with Ryan.
All right, let's do it. Yeah. All right. Before we wrap up today's show, I wanted to talk about something that has absolutely nothing to do with sports, but everything to do with what's been on my mind all week. This is a photo of my son, James, my 4-year-old, who is obsessed with animals. I don't mean like he likes animals. I mean, this kid is on a different level. I'll point out a fox and say, "Hey, buddy, look at that fox." And he'll hit me with, "Actually, Dad, that's a fennec fox." And then proceed to, give me a full Discovery Channel breakdown of where it lives, what it eats, how it survives predators, and, how its ears are shaped the way they are. He does it with literally hundreds of animals. It's crazy. I'm not exaggerating. He blows my mind every single day. You want to play the video real quick, Chad?
Hi, I'm James, and turtles hide under shells like this. Sometimes they get scared of a predator.
So they hide in their shells?
Yeah. I think they eat fish. They eat fish from in water in the ocean, and they have flippers for them to help them swim in deep blue seas, and they're really nice, and they have a hard shell. Sometimes they do this on the beach.
What kind of turtle do you think this turtle is?
I think it's a sea turtle because it has flippers.
What is your favorite kind of turtle?
Box turtle.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I like them. And I like diamondback turtles.
Diamondback turtles?
Yeah.
Where do they live?
I know.
All right, so all that, he was a little shy in that video. That was the first time he ever, talked about an animal on camera. But, trust me, we're going to make plenty more of these. But he's got a whole collection of stuffed animals and, can give you a full lesson on every single one of them. Honestly, I'm even thinking about maybe starting a podcast with him just where we, talk about animals together. I think that'd be really fun. But this is the part that, why I'm talking about it. I think this is why it makes it a little cooler. I'm a hiker and I'm a forager. I try to, to get anywhere between 1,500 to 2,000 miles hiked a year. That's my hobby. Those are two of my biggest hobbies. Yeah. And James has been out there with me for a lot of hikes now. He's walking trails, finding mushrooms, spotting edible plants, learning how to respect nature. It's actually kind of a cheat code taking a 4-year-old mushroom hunting because their eyes are closer to the ground. So it's easier for him to spot them. He's been in nature pretty much his entire life, and you can see it in the way he talks about the world around him. All this to say that my wife and I have entered into the Ranger Rick Junior Ranger competition. And honestly, I don't think it's a competition on earth more perfectly built for him. For anyone who doesn't know what this competition is, the Junior Ranger competition is a national contest run by Ranger Rick, the iconic kids wildlife magazine that's been inspiring young nature lovers for generations. It's open to kids 4 to 12, and it celebrates curiosity, conservation, and a genuine love for the natural world. And they're looking for the next young explorer, a kid who lives and breathes animals, the outdoors, and learning about the planet. And tell me that doesn't sound like James. The winner gets a decent sum of money, a once in a lifetime wildlife experience with Emmy-winning conservationist Jeff Corwin, who was one of my childhood heroes. I used to love watching him on the Disney Channel, and also get a feature in Ranger Rick magazine. Let me be clear: if he somehow miraculously wins, all of that money will be, every cent will be his in the bank account until he turns 18. We're not looking. This is about his future, not and it's about supporting something he truly loves. The national competition starts tomorrow, March 30th. That's when voting opens. I'm going to be shameless about it, to be honest. I'm going to be tweeting about it every day. I'm going to be promoting it on my podcast. I'm going to plug it everywhere because, it would mean the world to him, and to me, if he won. That kid is so smart, and it's just so fun to watch his curiosity. You guys can vote once a day, and you can find the link on my Twitter at DynastyCLE starting tomorrow. Even if you take a few seconds of your day to support him, man, they would, appreciate it. I'd appreciate it so much more than I'm not going to say he's going to win. I'm not saying he's the favorite, obviously, but I'm saying this: if there's a kid out there who loves and breathes this stuff, who wakes up excited to learn about animals, who literally corrects me at breakfast when I say a species name wrong or something, it's James. And if he wins, I promise you right now, I'm probably going to be a little insufferable about it just because I'm just so proud of my kids, man. But so please keep an eye out for the link to vote for James starting tomorrow, 7:00 tomorrow morning. I'll post it on Dynasty CLE on my Twitter. With your help, he could be the next Ranger Rick, Junior Ranger. So thank you guys.
Awesome. Yeah, please go to at Dynasty CLE, look for that tomorrow morning, and help him out, man. That video was amazing. That's awesome, Ryan. That's really cool. That's just a lot of fun, man. That's really, really
Appreciate
awesome. I don't know. I don't have anything to tie. TK, what's on your mind, man? I'm not going to go this way. I can't top that. Hey, listen, no one's going to be upset with you, Ryan, for advocating for and being a champion for your kids, man. Like,
right.
I don't think that's insufferable at all. I think that's just been a good father. That's been a great father. Man. So,
and there's no topping it, man. We all have everything important here. So if you want to go, you can go. There's nothing about topping anything. So
no, that's just awesome, man. That's a really cool. That was a good one this week, man. TK, what do you got, man? What's on your mind?
Right, real quick before I get into that, definitely want to go ahead and support that of Ryan's young son.
Mm-hmm.
With the whole Ranger competition thing. Make sure you get that link out to us as quick as possible, man, because I definitely want to do a little.
Well, dude, I'm about to drop a QR code on all my shows and everything. So
okay, all right. But for me, this is more just kind of me riffing. As you all know, next month is April. I have deemed April to be my least favorite month by far. I fell in love with this month. I almost went to jail during this month. I've been in a car accident during this month. My uncle, whose 68th birthday would have been on the 19th, he's no longer with us. Died in February of 2020. Really just the thing that I want to get back to is mental health. And I do know that not to take any shine away from any of the other shows that we have on this network. I know that Papa Moon does a fantastic job going over the mental health things and, reminding us to, not everything is always about therapy. We got to have, different ways to attack our problems and to keep our mental health on the up and up. But, at the same time, during months like these, try to find the solace in everything that you do. Find out some of the good things that make you tick, that may have a little inclination of why you're still here. Just find anything good. Like I just reeled off all the bad things. Granted, I'm sure whoever's watching out there is probably snickering and saying, that guy's such a bitch. He hasn't been through anything, and you're probably right. But these are things that affected me, and some of the things that make me hate this month. And obviously the big one, I didn't really mention this. My absolute favorite musician died in April. Granted, I know we shouldn't be goo-gagging over celebrities. We shouldn't, things like that. But, when someone captures your imagination and does something that just inspires you or just something that you really enjoy, kind of hard to see them perish like that. And in case you guys were wondering, that guy's Prince. He's my absolute favorite musician. Been that way since I was about 5. Oddly enough. But so what I want people to do is just find solace in everything. Spring is here, mud spring is here, but for a month like April, a guy that does not favor this month at all, just find the solace in good things. The draft's coming up. NHL playoffs will be here. NBA playoffs will be here. The UFL just kicked off yesterday. Just remember that mental health is important. Remember that it's not always bad to put yourself first at times. We're not talking any new world order type thing or anything. Just, make sure you're together. Because if you're not together and you're around other people and you're all jacked up, what do you think that's going to do? More than likely, that's going to flip over. But yeah, man, I just want everybody to stay sane. I want to stay sane as well. I really do hate this damn month. But lately it hasn't been as bad. Again, just trying to find good things to put my head in. Hopefully this is a good month for me. Been struggling a little bit. Besides, being on air with you guys and being able to, get away from that for a while, talk sports with you guys, and get off that, sad cloud that I'm usually on. But I just wanted to take a little time to talk about mental health and just keep grinding. Don't let this thing eat you alive, and we should be fine.
Yeah,
that's what's on my mind, man. Not much. Hopefully, I didn't take too much time.
I shot a 2-minute video, bro. You're fine.
Yeah, bro. Take all the time you need, man. But yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna piggyback off what you said. I'm gonna say it a lot on this network. Your mental health is very important. You've got to take care of yourself before you can take care of anyone around you. So I learned that when I had kids, and that's one of the reasons that I'm pretty active and going to therapy and talking to someone and just trying to work through all that stuff. It's okay to not be okay sometimes, right? But like TK said, I think you have to try to find the reason, whatever gets you through the day is okay, right? It's okay to admit that, hey, I'm a little down right now, and I think that you can Google resources. I know it probably feels like, well, it's too expensive, it's too time consuming, whatever. I don't want to talk to someone. There are free resources, and you can do this online from your home, from your comfort zone, until you decide that you're, whatever, maybe you're comfortable stepping out and talking to someone face to face. Sometimes it's that mental barrier of just going somewhere and sitting in front of someone and admitting that, things aren't good with me right now. But if you're more comfortable doing that on your phone, on a laptop, whatever, there are ways to go about that. There are resources. You can Google those. I don't necessarily have any links right here in front of me, but like I said, it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to say, hey, I'm not okay. I need help. It's okay to ask for that help. It's okay to continue to seek that help. It doesn't have to be a one-time thing. It can be, we're a work in progress, right? As people, we're always working on ourselves. And I think I think you're worth it. You're important enough to keep working on yourself. So don't be afraid to do that. Other than that, man, I'm going to be sharing the link for Ryan's son. I'll be voting every day that I can vote. I'll try to get as many people on board as I can. The video was awesome, man. It's truly amazing to watch your kids, kind of just jump fully into something and embrace it. For my son, it's Spider-Man. You know what I mean? Like he can tell you every species of Spider-Man, who their natural predators are. No. He's the same way. He just loves Spider-Man. But no, we'll be sharing the link. Hopefully we can get it shared on the network, and if not, at Dynasty CLE. Let me take the graphic down. You see it right there at Dynasty CLE on Twitter. That's going to be that's Ryan's Twitter handle. I will share it as much as I can on all my social media. I'm at Real Chad Bryan. You can find it there. But yeah, go to Ryan's Twitter and vote every day, and just take care of yourselves, and know that it's all going to work out. It's all going to be okay. And even if it doesn't, you build that basis, that foundation to be able to get through some of the tough times. I mean, that's life, right? You have your ups, you have your downs, but it's try to make it less peaks and valleys and more of just you try to keep it even keeled, and it's hard to do that on your own. So please seek the help that you need. It's okay. It's okay to say you need help. It's okay to go seek it. It's okay to continue to work on yourself. So please do that. Other than that, yeah, I think that's it for us today. We've got the main event tonight. A little bit later on the Inside Edge Network. I don't know exactly what time they're looking to start, but we got the main event with Anthony Alford, Eli Moon, Rob Rozicki. They'll bring you, I would imagine, some good Final Four coverage. We'll know who is in the Final Four by then. Enjoy the basketball games today. I think 2:15, 5:05 were the tips, or 2:05, 5:15, whatever they were. 2 and 5 o'clock. Just look at CBS at 2 and 5 o'clock, and you'll see those games. Michigan, Tennessee, and Duke, UConn, and then like I said, after those games, we'll know who the Final Four consists of. We'll talk about that next week on the show. Eli and I will bring you Inside Edge Primetime Monday through Thursday at 10 o'clock, and then Anthony Alford will be on at Midnight Run at midnight. We've got so many other shows during the week: Jersey Chasers, Commissioner's Couch, just everything that's going on the Inside Edge Network. You don't want to miss it. Plenty of stuff going on, and all the sports and mental health coverage and everything in between, entertainment. We've got everything here on the Inside Edge Network. So we appreciate you guys. We appreciate all of our sponsors. Ryan and TK, I appreciate you guys opening up today, man. I think it's good to have these conversations. It's good for people to know that, we're not just going to sit here and yap sports for a couple hours or whatever. Sometimes we have some real world stuff on our minds. Sometimes you go through things. Everybody goes through it. And sometimes just seeing someone, hey man, this is my comfort zone. I watch this show and this guy's going through the same feelings I'm going through. And it can help validate that. So if we can help one person out there get the help that they need, I think it's more than worth what we've been doing since August. So that's great. I love having the platform to try to help people like that. I think that's amazing.
Real
But
quick,
again, go ahead.
So yeah, which is I want to talk about the Commissioner's Couch real quick. 2 weeks ago, I was sick, and sorry about that. We couldn't do even the Sunday Sports show, but we made up that episode, the final 6 of our wide receivers for the 2026 draft rookie preview. Then Thursday we went live and did our first episode for the running backs. Go check that out on anywhere you stream podcasts. And then next week we're going to continue, or this Thursday, so coming Thursday we're going to continue with the rookie running backs as well. So just check us out at the Commish Couch on Twitter or any other socials. Thanks.
There you go. All right, guys. Again, we'll see you next Sunday on the Sunday Sports Show. We appreciate you, and we will see you all week on the Inside Edge Network. Have a good Sunday, guys.